I absolutely love cabbage. It's cheap, it's flavorful, and it's one of my favorite vegetables, especially in the fall and holiday season. Braised red cabbage is one of those dishes that feels cozy. It's sweet, it's tangy, and it works with everything. Roast pork, chicken, turkey, sausages, whatever you got. Today I'm making a classic version, but with a couple small technique upgrades to keep it vibrant and full of flavor. For the full ingredient list, check the description box below, but enough talking, let's get cooking. This is my favorite part about cooking with red cabbage is, let me cut this in half. And now, look how amazing red cabbage looks when you slice it. As soon as I slice it, I'm like, wow, I'm doing something good here. This is great, because vegetables are sometimes so pretty and so cool. And look at the inside of this thing. We'll pull off any of like the outer leaves that are a little ratty. But one of the great parts about this dish is we can cover up any imperfectness of the vegetables. It's like one of the great parts about cabbage. So now from here, I'm just gonna cut it very thinly. And how I like to do it is I'll just kind of work it by different angles. So I'll do it one way, then I'll do it the other way, and I'll keep working it on angles and slicing it pretty thinly. Cabbages can get pretty large, like this was a really big one. I'll cut a lot of cabbage and I'll try to pack the pan as much as I can, and if I have any left over, I'll either use this for the recipe again, or I'll turn it into a slaw. Now look how much cabbage we got out of less than half. I think I spent $3 for this cabbage, and I still have more than half of it left, and look how much I cut down. Red cabbage is a little bit more expensive than green cabbage, but this is still cheap and it's super economical. Now we're gonna slice up an onion, and any onion will work here. So here I'm just going with just a regular Spanish onion or yellow onion, and I'm gonna cut this as thinly as I cut the red cabbage. So now we're gonna peel and shred this apple. So I'm gonna take the skin off the apple. This apple is gonna add a lot of nice sweetness to the dish, because braised cabbage, it's got some sweetness. It's a wonderful dish that it's savory and it's a little sweet, and kind of like blends like a little bit of both. We're gonna cut it in half. We'll remove the top and the bottom. Get the core out. And I want to show you, like, after I peel that apple, this is all the waste that I have. And I feel like every time I show how much I take off an apple, people always say that, like, I take off too much and that I'm wasting. I don't think this is a lot of waste at all. I think I did a pretty good yield out of this apple. But if you want to eat the apple core, you go ahead and do that. Now we're going to take one of my favorite kitchen tools. I'm not big on gadgets, but I do love this one. This is a Japanese mandolin. We're going to add the insert that's going to shred this down. If you don't have one of these, you could use a box shredder and shred the apple. I like the apple to be a little larger than you can get out of a box shredder. I almost forgot my cut glove. Make sure that you never use a mandolin without a cut glove. It's one of the most dangerous tools in the kitchen, and this cut glove will save you a trip to the emergency room. So now I'll take the apple and I'll shred it down. One of the good things about this recipe is that you don't have to be very exact, because everything kind of all melts together. So even if there's big chunks in there, they'll end up just blending all in really nicely. And I could do this work by hand, but it'll never be this fast. And I'd rather clean this mandolin, which actually cleans up really easily, than have to take the time to do it all by hand manually. So in seconds, we got this shredded apple and our prep is done. So now let's head over to the stove and start to cook down the cabbage, the onions, and the apples, and add our other ingredients. We're gonna start with this high rim saute pan. I'm using this pan because it's a large and it's got good volume in it. So because when we put everything in, it's gonna pile up pretty high, but then it's all gonna cook down. It's also got a nice tight fitting lid. So whatever pot or pan that you're choosing to do this in, because it can go in a lot of things, just make sure that it's a large volume and it's got some type of tight fitting lid. We're gonna start the pan cold over a medium heat. The pan doesn't have to heat up first, because we're gonna add a little bit of olive oil, and then we're gonna add our onions. We're not trying to brown the onions, we're just gonna soften them. We don't want any color on them. So when we throw these in there, they can start in the cold pan. We put it on the medium heat, and we're gonna wait till they start to sizzle. Then we're gonna make sure we keep the heat nice and low to make sure that we're not getting any browning. And we just wanna cook the onions down a little bit before we add the apple and the cabbage. Once we start to get a little sizzle in the pan, I'm just gonna move the onions around so they get coated with the oil and they start to soften up. And we're gonna continue to cook them until they just get a little translucent. So once the onions have softened a little bit and they start to get just a little translucent, we're gonna add in our apple. And now we're gonna add in our cabbage. When I'm adding in the cabbage, I am trying to pack this to the max. The cabbage and the onions, after the full braise, it's gonna shrink down a lot in volume. So you really wanna almost go overboard with how much you're putting in at first, and it's gotta look like too much. You saw how much cabbage that we cut down, and like it fills this entire pan. After we cook it down, it's not gonna be anywhere close to this much. In fact, I thought I cut up too much. That was probably the perfect amount. So now I'll try to give this just a little bit of a mix, just to get some of the onions off the bottom and mixed in with the cabbage. We don't really need to get any color on here, so now we can start to add some of our liquids. Now we're gonna start to add some of our liquids. We'll start off with some chicken broth. I don't think the order is that important. Let's add a little chicken broth, a little balsamic vinegar. Second vinegar, we're gonna throw in some apple cider vinegar. Third liquid here, we're gonna go with some apple juice. This is one of the benefits of having a small child in the house, that we got these little apple juices in here. I can use some of it and she could drink the rest later. A little honey for some sweetness. Pinch of salt or two. You can always add more later, but we always want to start off with a little bit. And some fresh ground black pepper. Now we're gonna add an ingredient that I find a little optional, but I really like the flavor. We're gonna add a little allspice. This is gonna give it a really nice floral flavor. It's really gonna make it this simple dish very complex and delicious. This stuff is super potent, so just a little bit. Allspice is such a warm spice. It's like in the whole like cinnamon and nutmeg family, at least from a flavor profile. So now I'm gonna continue to mix some of the ingredients, especially like the honey and some of the seasoning in there. It's a little hard when everything is a little stiff, but this will all slowly start to soften up. This is so far away from being cooked and it already smells really good. Like the apple, the honey, the onions, the allspice that we just put in, it just smells like warm and cozy, and it smells like holiday season, winter, fall. So good. We haven't even got started. So now I'm gonna take the lid, I'm gonna put it on top, I'm gonna turn the heat down to low, and I'm gonna let this simmer for about 15 minutes before we add our last ingredient and then continue to simmer it. So after about 15 minutes, you can see that this cabbage has softened up a lot, but it's still far from finished. There's still a decent amount of liquid left in there because we're gonna braise this for about 45 minutes to an hour total. The liquid's gonna continue to evaporate, so at some point we may add more liquid, or this might be enough. And if it's too much, we can always just take the lid off and continue to cook it down. So I'm gonna give this just a little bit of a mix, and then I'm gonna add something that I usually like to wait for a little bit to add, and that's gonna be 2 bay leaves. So I'm gonna take these 2 bay leaves, I'm gonna throw these in there, and I'm just gonna tuck them in. I don't wanna crack them, and I do wanna make sure that they put their flavor into what we're cooking. So I'm gonna tuck that bay leaf in there, I'm gonna tuck you in, and now we're gonna let this simmer. And about every 15 minutes, we're just gonna give it a mix, and we're gonna check the liquid level, and we're also checking for the doneness of the cabbage and the onions and the apples. We wanna get it like silky and smooth and like buttery. This is still just a little stiff. You'll see how it transforms over the course of the 45 minutes or an hour. So we're about a half hour into the braise. Now you can see that it's really starting to soften up. We still got plenty of liquid in there, so I'm not concerned with adding any more liquid. It's softening up nicely, so we just gotta do this like 1 or 2 more times until the cabbage like looks like what it wants to look like. Sometimes it's about like 45 minutes, sometimes it'll take an hour. But this is one of those dishes that like you got a lot of wiggle room at the end, and you're way better off taking it a little further than not far enough. So once we give that a little bit of a mix, let's throw the lid on and check back in another 15 minutes. So this has been cooking for about an hour, and now this is usually like where it looks finished, where everything kind of like looks very uniform. The onions have taken on the color of the cabbage because they've been completely released. And if you look at the bottom, like the liquid that we had in there was pretty substantial. There's almost none of it. So what I'll do is I'll just let it cook for like another minute or 2 with the lid off, just to evaporate some of the liquid because you don't want it to be too juicy, but this is done and good to go. So our bay leaves are right on top. Let's pluck those out. Now let's transfer this over to a serving bowl. And you can see how soft the cabbage is now compared to when we first threw it in there. And if there's a little liquid in there, that's totally okay. It's not soupy. But if it's dry while it's cooking, you could always just splash in a little bit more. And no garnish needed for this dish. This dish is done. It smells so good, so homey. I can't wait to try it. Well, enough looking at it. Let's taste it. So first, let's take a look at just how amazing that the color on this looks. This was just onions, apples, and cabbage. Now look at this beautiful like pink hue. And it's almost like turned like one color where all those things were like separate. There's the onion and then the apple, and the cabbage also had that white specks in it. It just completely softened up, released its color and its juice. Everything melded together and became one. Even just picking it up with the fork, I can tell how buttery and soft it is. This smells so good. This is gonna be an epic bite. This is one of those dishes that absolutely like warms your soul. I made it, but I feel like somebody's grandma made it for me because this is so good. The cabbage is completely tender and soft. I can't tell what's cabbage, what's apple, what's onion. It's all so tender and so flavorful. It's warm, it's a little sweet, it's a little savory. It goes all over the lanes, and I'm not mad about that. This is such a simple dish that it's great for a weeknight. It's also elevated enough for a holiday meal. This is so fantastic, and I don't care what you're serving this with, this pairs up wonderfully, especially during those cold winter months. One thing I didn't put in here was any butter. A lot of times these braised cabbage recipes, they call for a little butter. If that's your thing, throw in a couple pats of butter and that'll make it even tastier, very restaurant-like, but this doesn't need anything. This is fantastic just like this. If this is the first of my videos that you've seen, let me know in the comment section this is your first time here. If you like this video, click like. If you make the recipe, let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. And if you want the perfect thing to pair up with this, check out another braised dish. This is my beer braised sausage. That is the perfect, nice, cold weather dish to go with this cabbage. I will see you there. Thanks.